I'm not sure I understand it, but everything seems brighter now than before. I don't know why I feel this way, but every time I hear your name, all my worries disappear, yeah. It's all because of you. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true, yeah. It's all because of you, because of you. And I don't fall in love so easily, 'cause I don't wear my heart up on my sleeve.
Hey, the stream didn't pause on YouTube, did it?
I don't know if you feel the same, but every time I hear your name, my worries disappear. It's all because of you.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. Today is, I don't even have to look at the calendar for today. Today is April 20th, 2021. Brother James, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, brother. How about yourself, Brother Ben?
I'm doing good, man. I've got my, I signed up for my vaccine. I get my first shot, my first jab on Friday, man. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, and so where I'm scheduled at, they give it, they automatically schedule you for the second shot as well. So I've got the first and the second shot schedule. Rebecca Zora will be joining us shortly. She is currently incapacitated from 420. No, I'm joking. she is.
God damn it.
No,
it's too
Rebecca
early, Ben. Don't you start, Ben.
Rebecca doesn't celebrate it that way, but that's what's going on. Good morning to everybody in the chat room across Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're watching us, YouTube. Put some lions up in the chat rooms. Say a good morning to somebody as we get ready to jump right into the news.
Yes, sir.
I want to start with January 6th, this January 6th attack, which the terrorist attack, which we have been covering. And I want to make sure that we continue to put coverage on it because really because of how we see what's going on in Minnesota right now. Right. The response to what happened in Minnesota as compared to the attack that was waged against the Capitol on January 6th. We've seen that there's been two entirely different types of treatment. There's a full blown military occupation that's happening in Minnesota right now centered around Brooklyn Center and the aftermath of the death or the murder of Anti-Riot, not to mention what's going on in Minneapolis as the jury has now went into deliberations over Derek Chauvin's murder of George Floyd. The state, Minnesota, particularly the cities of Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center, look like war zones. But compared to January 6th, where the police, Capitol Police and the National Guard were told specifically not to use their most effective tactics, their most violent tactics, a federal judge has ordered two leaders of the far-right Proud Boys group to be detained in jail pending trial for their involvement in the January 6th attack on the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Both were indicted. One of many Proud Boy conspiracy cases to stem from the investigation into the assault on the building that followed a pro-Donald Trump rally. Ethan Nordian of Washington State and Joseph Biggs of Florida, along with two other Proud Boys regional leaders, are charged with conspiring to stop the certification of the 2020 election. Now, Nordian will be detained in Seattle as opposed to D.C. after a judge granted his defense attorney's request to cease transfer, arguing that, quote, Capitol defendants have been violently assaulted in D.C. jail. Now, we put that compared to, like, these are just a handful of arrests, and it is progress in the sense that the Proud Boys need to be held accountable for who and what they are, particularly what they did on January 6th. But we've had hundreds of protesters in Brooklyn Center who have been arrested, shot with rubber bullets, and they are not being afforded a day in court. They're getting the full onslaught from the police state. And this just shows you the degrees, the difference in how we are treated in this country when we're on the side of right, when we're on the side of justice, James, when we're on the side of black lives. We see that the police comes out in full force as opposed to people who are 100% ready to attack the country, to attack the Capitol. I'm glad these Proud Boys were arrested, but truth be told, this is what we're 5 months removed, 4 going on 5 months removed from the attack, and they're still acting as though they don't know how to find all of the actors that were involved, when literally all they have to do is go to YouTube and go to the YouTube comment section, and they will see exactly who was behind it. A lot of these quote unquote independent media personalities, they were also in the crowd. And in one other thing, James, is they have began to use the free press excuse, saying that they were there as journalists, right? Saying that they were there inside of the Capitol as journalists, documenting it, when we see all of their rhetoric and everything that they do online is anything but journalism. It is demagoguery. But they're using that. Meanwhile, in Minneapolis, Brooklyn Center, they have not only arrested protesters, journalists, they have assaulted journalists. I mean, there's no regard whatsoever for the freedom of speech and the freedom of the press in Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center, but we're going through all the motions for the people who literally attacked this country on January 6th, and they're giving them all of the benefit of the doubt because this country has shown yet again that it is 100% willing to stand behind white supremacy and 100% willing to crush anybody who would challenge white supremacy. So there you have it, man. That's the first thing that's on the top of our docket. The Proud Boys are starting to get arrested, but the treatment, man, like I know you see it. I know we talked about it. The treatment of protesters and the treatment of journalists who are covering what's happening in Brooklyn Center is entirely different.
Yeah, most definitely, dude. And I'm just mad that it took this long. Y'all just dragging their feet like they always do. Welcome to America.
America 2021, America. America in 2021, where they are more than able to find anybody from quote unquote Antifa because of a tattoo on their finger, but they can't seem to find these terrorists from January 6th with full high definition resolution images of their faces. But anyway, we'll keep our eyes on what's happening there. Jurors in the Derek Chauvin trial began deliberations yesterday after closing arguments were made by both the defense and prosecution. Prosecutors argued that there is no reasonable doubt about Chauvin's guilt, while the defense suggested that, quote, a reasonable police officer would believe that the other factors precipitated the death of George Floyd. Representative Maxine Waters, a Democrat from California, spoke very plainly Saturday night about the people's concern about the trial, and her comments started an uproar. Let's take a look at what Congresswoman Maxine Waters had to say. Congresswoman Maxine Waters had to say.
We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the talk that took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd, if nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that is say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away.
And not just manslaughter, right? I mean...
Oh, no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens? What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
Absolutely. Now, absolutely nothing wrong with what the Congresswoman said, except the fact that she said it. And these Republicans and conservatives have started to lose their mind. But before we get to the conservative backlash for those comments, I want to take a look at what the judge said after the defense attempted to declare a mistrial. After hearing the Maxine Waters video, the defense in the Derek Chauvin trial called for a mistrial. And the judge, he spoke about Maxine Waters' comments, saying that her statements may be the reason that the trial is appealed. Let's take a look.
And it is so pervasive that I just don't know how this jury, it can really be said to be that they are free from the taint of this. And now that we have U.S. representatives threatening acts of violence in relation to this specific case, it's mind-boggling to me, Judge.
Well, I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned. But
now, the judge continued saying, quote, a congressman's opinion really doesn't matter a whole lot. And then he subsequently denied the motion's defense to declare a mistrial. Let's take a look at that.
The media reports, I'm aware that Congresswoman Waters was talking specifically about this trial and about the unacceptability of anything less than a murder conviction, and talk about being confrontational, but you can submit the press articles about that. This goes back to what I've been saying from the beginning. I wish elected officials would stop talking about this case, especially in a manner that is disrespectful to the rule of law and to the judicial branch and our function. I think if they want to give their opinions, they should do so in a respectful and in a manner that is consistent with their oath to the Constitution, to respect a co-equal branch of government. Their failure to do so, I think, is abhorrent, but I don't think it has prejudiced us with additional material that would prejudice this jury. They have been told not to watch the news. I trust they are following those instructions, and that there is not in any way a prejudice to the defendant beyond the articles that we're talking specifically about the facts of this case. A congresswoman's opinion really doesn't matter a whole lot. Anyway, so motion for mistrial is denied.
Now, he said the motion for mistrial is denied, but he obviously put in motion the groundwork for an appeal, telling them earlier that this was grounds for their possible appeal. Doesn't mean the appeal is going to work for Derek Chauvin, but this was something they were going to seek after anyway, James. They were going to try to appeal this decision, right, no matter what Maxine Waters says. But it's wild to me. There's a whole lot more to how Republicans have been responding.
Yes.
And I want to talk about it right now, but we have so much more that Republicans, because they have acted like Maxine Waters declared war or told the Proud Boys to stand by and stand back, right? Yeah. Like Donald Trump acted every single day. Republicans are doing their regular fake outrage, which is a part of their program. This is just what they do. The Republican leader in the House of Representatives and an extremist congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who champions, quote, Anglo-Saxon political traditions, have demanded action against Democratic Representative Maxine Waters after she expressed support for protesters against police brutality. Now, on Monday, the Republican minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, tweeted this out saying, quote, this weekend in Minnesota, Maxine Waters broke the law. That's a lie. By violating curfew and then incited violence. That's also a lie. Speaker Pelosi is ignoring Waters' behavior. That's why I'm introducing a resolution to censure Representative Waters for these dangerous comments. Now, it goes a little bit further. Marjorie Taylor Greene is using Waters' comments to score political points. And amid protest over police killing black people, no less, she went on several Twitter tirades, including comparing Waters' incitement to Trump's second impeachment. But here are some of the critical statements. From Sunday, she said, as a sitting United States Congresswoman, Maxine Waters threatened a jury by demanding a guilty verdict and threatened violence if Chauvin is found not guilty. This is also an abuse of a power. Hashtag expel Maxine Waters. Shut the hell up. Then she went on to say, Maxine Waters is commander of the BLM Domestic Terror Army. Ain't that some shit? A year of burning down cities, looting businesses, and murdering Americans like David Dorn. When you tell them to, quote, stay in the streets, how much more confrontational can it get? Representative Maxine Waters, hashtag expel Maxine Waters. And then she went on to say, today I filed House Resolution 327 to hold Democratic Representative Maxine Waters accountable for inciting violent riots and Black Lives Matter terrorism. It's time to expel Maxine Waters. Now, this is coming from the conspiracy theory in chief. Like, Maxine Waters is one of the most dangerous people in this country because, well, other Karens and Kens were dumb enough to give her political power. And she's running with this. And despite all the things that she has done to this point, being a QAnon conspiracy theorist, being someone who supported the January 6th terrorist attack, she wants to now put focus on the black woman who is standing up against police brutality in her own way. Fox News pool reporter Chad Pergram noted earlier Monday afternoon that Speaker Nancy Pelosi was not seeking an apology from Congresswoman Waters, and this is what he tweeted from the pool. Pelosi says she doesn't think Waters should apologize for her remarks about confrontation after the Chauvin verdict. Pelosi also said that she didn't think Waters' comments would incite violence. Author Frederick Joseph, framed the situation around Congressman Waters tweeting the following, quote, "It shouldn't be lost on anyone how the media and talking heads are already trying to place blame for whatever happens following the Derek Chauvin trial verdict on Maxine Waters, a black woman. That blame should be laid at the feet of a white supremacist nation and its systems." Absolutely. And he's right. That's it right there. I mean, that's the bottom line. James, this is BS, man, from the highest order. Like, if anybody,
man,
Marjorie Taylor Greene is complicit with what happened on January 6th. Yep. And I know she's just doing this for attention, but she's gonna get the kind of attention that she don't want, which is that's like good. you really trying it here, right? What you think? Man?
I'm sick of her. I want her to have a seat. Rebecca and I, we were talking about this last night in that chat. This girl, just have a seat, have several seats. They just really reaching, and she's just really trying to stay relevant. I hate her face, but she would go away, dude. It's annoying as hell. And then I was like, man, and then the defense attorney, I watched part of the closing arguments yesterday, and just listening to the defense, dude, I had to turn it off. And I heard my dad was watching it too, and Pop was like, man, I just can't do it right now. I can't do it anymore. It's just the level and amount that they are doing to try, and I know that's their job, but I mean, damn, man, come on.
Yeah. That's the ugly part about this, man, is that we have to do justice. Due process in this case means that we have to be subjected to the bull from that defense attorney over and over and over and over and over again. But they still had no point to be made. And I want to make sure, in case I think I misspoke earlier and said that Waters was a conspiracy theorist, but I clearly meant Marjorie Taylor Greene is the chief conspiracy theorist, right? I'll make sure I clarify that. But I mean, to that end, it's beyond BS, man. And it is America. And Fred Joseph, he framed it properly. Like, the entire reason we're having this trial is because of white supremacy. And Derek Chauvin really felt like he had the right to just snatch that man's life out of him, right? Which is rooted in police culture in this country. Police culture is rooted in white supremacy, right? Mm-hmm. It is rooted and has its foundations in the slave patrols. This country in general is rooted in white supremacy. The way they had to vilify black people in order to justify slavery, to justify keeping us from voting, in order to justify Jim Crow, all of those things 100% connect to what we're going through today. And the only thing conservatives can actually bring themselves to discuss is a series of tweets or a series of statements from Maxine Waters, which is absolutely spot on. What do they think is going to happen in this country, whether Maxine Waters said anything or not? What do they think is going to happen when every single one of us saw how maliciously Derek Chauvin put his entire body weight on the neck of George Floyd for 8 minutes and 40 some odd seconds that we saw, but the total time was 9 minutes? What do they think is going to happen in this country if they're going to tell us that this murderous piece of shit, Derek Chauvin, is not guilty? Or even, for that matter, has a hung jury? What they're telling us is that they don't hear us when we're kind. They don't hear us when we're patient. They don't hear us when we're singing "We Shall Overcome." What they will hear is what they're going to see. And there's nothing I can say or do to promote it or to stop it, to prevent it. There was nothing Maxine Waters could say that was going to stop America. She doesn't control the black community. She doesn't control protesters. Nobody does. Everybody out here has a mind of their own, and everybody can make the assessment for themselves. And what they saw tells them that if this country does not find this murderer guilty, well, this country doesn't deserve to stand. That's what I'm feeling.
Amen. Amen. Hey, William Moore sent a super chat. He said, if you are protesting for black rights, you are viewed as an enemy of the state. Not to mention that those same Proud Boys and Oath Keepers were the ones that started the riots during BLM protests. Facts. Yeah. Check the videos. Straight up facts, dude.
Exactly. Man. And Dwayne, I don't know if you have that video that we pulled from 60 Minutes. David put it in the chat, super chat. But we have seen how the police are in league with the Proud Boys, more specifically in this case, the Oath Keepers, right? There's a whole 60 Minutes episode on Sunday where Oath Keepers were talking about how police have trained them, right? And how they work with the police. And they blend in with the police. Well, yeah, they blend in with the police, not only because of their skin color, but because of their ideology. Both of them are groups of white supremacists. And I don't care what race the police are. It doesn't matter if they're a black police officer. They've been trained to carry out and execute white supremacy just as efficiently as a white person. And so for the Oath Keepers to have this relationship with the police and to see their role not only in January 6th, but across the country, like the role that they are facilitating on behalf of white supremacy lets you know that they are indistinguishable from the police in this country. And so goddamn right, people need to protest the police and stay in their faces because they are agents of white supremacy. They're not here to protect and serve us. They're here to protect and serve white supremacy and capitalism most. Let's move on a little bit further and discuss the protests that continue across America. While protests have continued since last year, like in Washington, D.C. and Portland, for example, they've increased in size and intensity throughout the murder trial of Derek Chauvin, and especially following the latest cases of police brutality and killings, including Karan Nazario's assault and the killing of Adam Toledo and Dante Wright. We want to highlight a few scenes that we've seen most recently. Let's take a look. Now, okay, so that clip was from yesterday at 1:47 p.m. Hundreds of high school students demonstrated in downtown Minneapolis, observing 3 minutes of silence for Dante Wright, as well as rallying together. That's the video we just watched. In the video, students chanted, "National Guard, go home." As you can see, it was still snowing in the area slightly. Protesters also took to the streets in D.C. this weekend. Friend of the show, Chuck Modi, captured a few scenes of the incredibly harsh response that these protesters were met with. And I want you to ask a question as you watch this. Does this seem like a reasonable use of our tax dollars?
Look at all those police. Look at all those police. It's not just them. It's them. It's back there. It's back there, those cars. I don't know how to show a helicopter. Let's see if we could get it in there. I don't know. It's a helicopter above. It's insanity. There are more police officers than there are actual protesters, right? So I'm going to do this every time because I have to ask if there's conflict. If there is a physical confrontation, it will be started by MPD, by this over-policing, this crazy police presence, which is unnecessary. And I want to remind the mayor and I'll remind the chief of police that a week ago in the pouring rain on the Monday after Dante Wright was murdered, there was a huge protest. But because it was in the rain, maybe there wasn't a lot of police officers there. The police officers were either a block away, a couple of them in a car, or a block away in the other direction, a couple of them in a car. And what we saw is, you know what? People protested just fine, and they exercised their First Amendment right. And when they were done exercising their First Amendment right, they went home. The police officers weren't up their asses. So The question, as always, is why is this heavy policing here, and what is the justification?
Yeah. Why is this heavy policing here, and what is the justification? Well, the reason they are there is because they occupy the lion's share of every city budget, right? They're there because we are in a police state. And they are there. There is no justification other than the fact that they hoard all the wealth from the tax coffers. They make sure that they get their cut. And then if they have too much money, well, then they just go buy new toys. And if they can't afford the new toys, and they have the 1033 program from the Pentagon that brings weapons from the Middle East that we use in invading and expanding our empire, they bring it back home to make sure that they have that same level of security here. But I digress. Here's Chuck capturing a group of protesters rallying together only minutes before a D.C. protest ends and police violently attack the protesters.
Be gone tomorrow because of this state, because of the cruelty that this state imposes, the violence that this state imposes every fucking day. It doesn't matter if you're driving in your fucking house, going to the grocery store, out for a walk, minding your fucking business. It don't fucking matter. They can be gone like that. Hanging too many air fresheners in your car.
It's about 50 protesters in the circle there for the listening audience.
Back from the store with an Arizona and some Skittles, playing video games.
Yeah. And so this was just before police officers came in and arrested and attacked those same group of protesters who were standing, and one person was talking, but the rest of them were standing in unity in a circle. And while we were talking about the insurrectionist terrorist attack on January 6th, where we were discussing how now they're using the justification of being journalists, I want you to take a look at this clip. And it shows a journalist being dragged to safety while still getting shot by police. And so, I mean, this is the different treatment. This is the treatment, right? Last but not least, I want to get to this last clip before we take a break. The attitudes of the police. I mean, because I think that's the number one thing that you have to understand is that they have this disposition of them versus us, not protecting and serving us, them versus us. Here's D.C. Metro Police Officer Evans enjoying a cigar after police wrapped up the arrest of protesters. Once he noticed Chuck Modi, friend of the show, his demeanor suddenly changed. Let's take a look at that. All right, so there's no audio in this one. So you could just see the officer there chilling with the cigar, and then as soon as he realized he was being filmed, he was like, "Oh, let me act like I'm responsible." All right,
makes no damn sense.
So I mean, when you just compare the two, James, it's night and day difference. It is night and day difference how they treat us, how they treat protesters who are fighting for Black lives, who are fighting against, But you got to understand. They are here not to protect and serve us. They're here to protect and serve the system. Yeah. And if our protest inherently challenges the system, they honestly feel like they're out there just doing their job. They got to keep us in order because it is the system that is problematic. It is the system that allows them to continue doing this. It is the system that treats us this way, that murders us with impunity. And if Derek Chauvin does not get held accountable for it, then you're going to see a backlash against the system like we haven't seen since 1992, since the LA riots. So,
yeah, man. And I know in Atlanta, they've already have everything set in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Already for this. So I'm just.
Yep. So it should come, that decision should come down any day now, like that they're deliberating. But that said, let's go to a quick break. When we come back, Rebecca Zor will be joining us. We have more Like It or Not, a lot of more stories to cover, a lot of miles to go. More Like It or Not after this.
Good morning again, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Going to read off a couple of super chats, y'all, before we jump into this music. Tiger Katsune says, sent the super chat saying, my supervisor is spreading COVID conspiracies. Help. I have asthma. I don't feel safe here. But if I leave, I can't feed my family. Tiger Man, make sure that you talk to HR, talk to somebody. If you don't feel safe in that environment, sir, the best thing that you can do is leave. I understand you gotta feed and support the family, man, but yeah, you definitely have to. The next super chat comes from Christian Hartliff Johansson, who says, there'll only be a Civil War II if these bastards started. And he put the white face emoji with the hand covering his face. Facts. The only way it's going to start, because they will start, but be ready, because we will be too. We're going to jump into some of this music, y'all, and when we come back, we have Rebecca. Possibly, maybe. We'll see if we let her in the club today, y'all. Good morning, mama. Good morning, sensation. Good morning, mama. Good morning, sensation. Hope y'all are doing good. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, everybody that's in the chat. Make sure that you hit that, about to say hit the like it or not button. We maybe might need to introduce that, y'all. Let's make a like it or not button. I like that. Anyway, y'all, make sure that y'all hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
So take off your mask. Yeah.
Sophia, good morning. Nick, good morning. Savage Sweetheart. Alicia, good morning. D Rocky, you know I do what I can. Goku, power up, brother. What's going on, Goku? EC Stanton, good morning. Shout out to Chuck, Diesel, and Pixie on the Moon, our moderators, y'all. Y'all give it up for them, y'all. Get a 9. Good morning. Good morning. Avery. Good morning. Nat A, Nat M, Nat's in the building. Mark S, definitely be crazy. It's definitely crazy out there, man. Y'all be safe. Please be safe. On and on it goes. Good luck on your interview today. You got this. You got this. It's true. Good morning. Good morning. Mara, good morning. Oh, I gotta cut the music down on this one, y'all. Laura Estrada sent the super chat. She says she's been in the hospital for 3 days. Bubba, I needed to hear your voice, but I'm here. Yahoo. Oh, Laura, welcome back. I hope everything is okay. We're sending out prayers and blessings for you, Laura. I hope everything is good. And good morning, good morning, good morning, especially for you, all right? Thank you again. C-Dot, welcome to the stream, sir. We have a new person in the group, y'all. Somebody, a first-time subscriber that's watching today. Y'all give y'all some line heads. Drop them in the chat for C-Dot, y'all. C-Dot Carter, NYC. Welcome to the fold, sir. You won't be disappointed. All right, y'all. Welcome back, Rebecca and Ben.
Rebecca Azor.
Okay, Rebecca.
That's good.
I said Rebecca pulled up in here looking like the Matrix on us.
She about to go flip, kick, and do everything else. You taking the red or blue pill, girl?
Yeah, you
taking the Pfizer or Moderna, girl? The Pfizer or Moderna, girl?
I'm gonna do the Moderna.
Moderna, okay.
Moderna. Even though Pfizer sounds real cute, but I'm gonna just do the
Pfizer.
Moderna.
She's cute. She's sophisticated.
I'm doing Pfizer because everybody in my family has already gotten it and they seem to be okay. So I'm like, well, they the closest match to me. So I'm gonna go ahead. I got mine scheduled, Rebecca.
Yeah, you told me, but I thought you told me you already had it scheduled. So
no, we had one scheduled, and the way our schedule is set up, we missed the appointment. So we're one of those people who missed the appointment. But we got to schedule again, and this time they're doing it at our church. So we're gonna go. I'm like, hey, if no better place to go than to.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, that is really good.
I feel
instead of being in all these mass sites. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the sites. Prayer of Jesus.
You're like, oh, Lord, bless this. Bless this shot.
Bless this vaccine, Jesus.
No side effects.
Amen.
And then we're gonna go smoke afterwards. Anyway, I digress. What's going on?
Oh, happy 420, Rebecca.
You're supposed to do it after the show, not before the show, so you're gonna be late.
Right. Oh no, I don't. But I don't smoke weed. But funny story. Yesterday, I was getting my car serviced because it's a story. I haven't given you guys story time. 2 seconds. Yesterday, I was getting my car serviced, and as I was driving, they took longer than usual. So I was like, I'm gonna just go to a store or something, like just in the time, while I'm waiting. And I'm over here having to be at the job, so I'm trying to get Wi-Fi. So they were like, we're gonna lift you. We're gonna get you a lift to go somewhere. I'm like, I don't want to be in nobody's car, but I need to get out of here. Right. So when I got into the lift, I'm just like, the lift driver had a little bit of an attitude, and I was like, sir. He's like, well, they just sent me a lift that said Miss on it. Is your name Miss? Miss Rebecca. Okay. So just take me to where I need to go. Thank you. So I was sitting down. 5 minutes into the ride, then he looks at me in the mirror and then says, so what you eating today?
Oh, Lord.
I said, are you talking to me? And he's like, yeah, what you eating today? Did you already eat? And I was like, is this guy going to try to take me to a restaurant right now? Because I am just not. So I'm like, no, I didn't eat. He was like, oh, that's fine. I just wanted to see what you ate so I could probably eat that too. So then he says, then he says really quick, I got the stuff.
What?
What stuff, sir?
What stuff? COVID?
He said
exactly.
Hello. He says oils. He said oils, flour.
Yeah.
He says oils, flowers, desserts, whatever you need.
Oh. Well, do you have his name?
Follow me right now on Instagram at hi. Listen, he said follow me right now on Instagram.
Don't give him a shout out on this. Don't. Tell me off air. Let me check his services out.
You need
first.
to DM that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to check him out. Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry, I don't do that. He's like, well, I know you know somebody who does. Tomorrow's 420, celebrate and be safe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is crazy.
Well, my number one question throughout this whole story was, did he have on a mask and were your windows let down?
Right.
So yes, the windows were let down. He let down the windows, and yes, he had on a mask. And it was because where I get my car serviced, they're just uppity. They sent me a really big car. So, it was like there was a lot of space between us. But
oh Lord.
I think after a while, like after the 5 minutes, he gave me a little attitude. He just looked at me and was like, she black. Let me go ahead and ask her what's up. I'm just like, this is crazy. He said it real quick. Like, I got stuff. And I was like, what stuff do you have, sir?
Bro, you can't come on like that. You be like, you gotta like, how would you
ease into it?
How would you ease? Like, I'm trying to think. How would you ease in and tell somebody that you got the stuff versus saying I got the stuff? Because I got the stuff could literally be anything. I got
anything, dude.
COVID. I got the syphilis. I got the gonorrhea. He got all this kind of stuff.
If you used to walk down 5 points though, they would walk with you and be saying stuff like that. I got the stuff. I got what you need. You can meet me over here in the corner. What you want me to do? And I'm like,
they go to the store. I got that smoke, bro. I got that smoke, bro.
Like they gonna open up their jacket and have a whole bunch of fake Rolexes.
You want that thing? I got what you need right here. And it's like.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody in the chat room said, just say, hey, you smoke? And then that's it. Like, but I got the stuff. Like, I don't know what you got, man. You got to go.
Somebody just sent a super chat. We're talking about Happy 420. They sent $5. Happy 420. $4.99.
A couple of them.
And somebody sent another $10 one page.
$4.20.
Well,
everybody should send 420.
That's it. Hey, see, okay, anyway, all right. Let's anyway, no, it don't matter. What you want to talk about next, Roberta? You got any more stories or you want to cover?
No, that was my only story. I just wanted to loosen it up. I know that it was we got to get through it and watching those with you all in the audience, watching those videos definitely was pissing me off. And the fact that Chuck Modi is getting it just shows us that mainstream media ain't gonna show us that. Okay.
Right.
The people that are really out there, sacrificing themselves. Shouts out to Georgia Fort in the middle of all of this because they really want to show you what's happening on the ground. Shouts out to you guys. Love you guys. Mean it. Stay safe. And thank you for what you're doing because without you guys doing what you do, we can't really be doing what we do here. So
that's a fact. Fact. Yeah. All right.
To segue right into the news.
To Baltimore.
Exactly.
What's in the news, Rebecca?
Well, last week, the beginning of a trial involving 8 members of Baltimore's elite gun trace task force revealed that a handful of Baltimore cops allegedly kept fake guns in their patrol cars to plant on innocent people, a failsafe they could use if they happen to shoot an unarmed suspect.
Wow.
The revelation is just one of many horrible abuses that have come out of the trial that is being called Baltimore's biggest police corruption scandal in memory. Prosecutors say the squad, which was tasked with getting illegal guns off the streets, abused its power by robbing suspects and innocent people, raiding homes without warrants, and selling confiscated drugs, amongst other crimes. All of that sounds so familiar, as all of the people that we know have been shot by police officers.
Yep.
Cops have been raiding homes without warrants, have been saying that, have been taking drugs from people and saying that it was them, and they've been selling those drugs.
It sounds like something. It sounds like a plot out of what's that movie? Like any
Power?
of these corrupt, Power. Yeah, you got what's the Breaking Bad? The cops and that were bad. The Shield. That's the show. The Shield. I don't know how long it was on, but that level of corruption, people made fun of that show. Oh, it's not that. No, this is exactly what's going on. And the thing that killed me, Rebecca, is that they showed a picture like a toy gun, right? That they plant on people that they killed who were unarmed. I mean, this underscores everything that we've been saying. But to have this trial going on at the same time as a Derek Chauvin trial, it's just too much, man. It's too much.
It is too much. But I'm happy that. I remember a few years ago, we had covered Cobb County police officers and a particular Cobb County detective. And there was like this big drug task force unit where they used to praise this particular police officer. And I wish I remembered his name. And he was pulling over mostly people in the Kennesaw area and younger people because they, said, oh, what? They'll be like, what did you drink tonight? And they'll be like, yeah, I had one drink. And they'll be like, oh, but I smell weed on you. Did you smoke? And then be planting or putting up fake breathalyzer tests, the number.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was doing this for years and getting away with it. And he was over the drug task force and they were praising him. They gave him awards. And that whole time he was falsifying
I'm trying to look up his name now because that a lot of people went to jail. Like they had their entire lives set back because of that. I think it was a sheriff's officer. It was right in Cobb County. But this is what they do all around the country. And you got to think about this. Like, we got to stop pretending as though just because they have a shield and a badge and they have on a uniform that they're not just as corrupt as everybody else can be. Right? Why would we assume that this stuff doesn't happen just because they're police officers? You give people power and it corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You got these people who have almost unlimited budgets. The budgets are so big for police departments, like they can't even find ways to spend it all. And they go out and buy, all these new technologies. They got the Robo Dog now, right? In New York City, right? But you get all this money collected into one group, particularly men, particularly white men. And you mean to tell me that the same trends that we've seen throughout history of all the violence, the colonization, all the abuses, all of the lies, all of the wars, all the stuff, you think that goes away just because they put on a badge and a uniform? They are just as corrupt behind the uniform as they are without the uniform.
Yes, and that's exactly why I think it's important that this particular case out of Baltimore needs to definitely be highlighted so that others, and I always say I want for these officers to start being like, damn, they're figuring us out. Yes. Damn, like, they're on to us. Like, I want them to be shook as, we get through both of these trials, because they feel like, no, they have been getting away with a lot of things for years. And maybe since the start of the police force. I mean, we know this with how they even started. The system, like I said, and like we constantly say on the show, was created to work the way it works. It's working just fine, how it was created to work. And that's against us, particularly Black people. And so they've been getting away with this. But now, now that it's not cool to be racist, but, now that we can call it out and people get paid off of, especially white folks, get paid off of this, making it the propaganda thing. When we talk about racism, you know, we got the diversity and inclusion. You
hate some diversity and inclusion.
I hate it so much. Right. Hate it so much. But yeah, with all of that, you know, like I need them to understand that we're going to keep fighting tooth and nail until even a little bit changes. Until just even a little bit changes, because those people who fought for us back in the days, I don't think they could have imagined what it would look like today. And even though to a lot of people like us, it may not seem like big change, to those people who died for what we have today, like imagine what we're doing and how that's going to, so we got to continue to fight. But I want these police officers to be shook. To be shook. Okay?
They need to be scared. They need to be too scared to do some of the dumb stuff that they've been doing and the evil stuff that they're doing. Absolutely agree, Rebecca.
Yeah, because they've been getting away. They've been getting away with it. Nobody has really been like when they cover it, the way that they word things, it confuses people. Like a police officer involved shooting.
Yeah,
a police shooting.
Passive.
The police didn't get shot. He shot somebody. She shot somebody. So those are the things that, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to make sure we start switching the verbiage to what it is.
Yep.
And we got to start making sure, you know, that we put their faces out there. And when a trial happens, it's not going to be the person who was murdered. It's not them on trial. It's going to be the police officer on trial. Yeah, right. Exactly. So y'all need to get shook because we coming for each and every one of y'all.
Yep.
Say that.
Say it. It's a word. Yeah.
Let me real quick. Let me read a few super chats for y'all. The following people sent 420 super chats: Pixie on the Moon, Sensation, Purple Rain Hearts, Just Blaze. Purple Rain Heart says, Laura Estrada, thank you. Kev Z 24/7, Rebecca Burns, I got y'all, and goddamn Mama Gwen.
Wait a minute. Mama Gwen sent us $4.20.
Yes, send them up. Send them up. Look,
Mama over them CBD gummies over that fake. And Nat A also sent us 420 super chats.
That's the best. I've been trying to talk to my mother. She got me.
And did you hit the blunt this morning?
No, not yet. Anyway, I don't smoke anymore. But we are going to
right,
find
David.
We're gonna find us some of that stuff. But anyway,
you too, David. Oh, David, you be smoking? Oh, that's crazy. I'm the only one that doesn't smoke. Smoke.
I just the difference, man. Like what alcohol does to your body is just pure evil compared to what a little marijuana does. Marijuana don't do nothing to your body. You just go and visit with the universe for a few minutes. You commune with the soul, the collective consciousness. You do that, and then you're back to normal.
Hungry.
Man, you be hungry.
Like Cat Williams say, the only side effects: hungry, happy, sleepy.
That's
right. That's it.
Hungry, happy, sleepy. Alcohol make you violent. If you got violent tendencies, it's gonna bring it out. Alcohol make you even goofier. If you already goofy, it's gonna make you even goofier. Like oh my God, how many people? It is so much better for you to high text than to drunk text. Because when you high, you're going to analyze, you're going to understand the real nature of the situation, what really happened. You're going to realize that person wasn't meaning you no good from the very beginning. And that's what you're going to text them. When you drunk, you're going to be like, baby, I miss you. That's all you're going to say.
Baby, I miss you. Yesterday, I got a high text from someone saying, oh my God, I just ate so many edibles. And now I feel like I'm on a plane and the plane is sitting still.
Tell your friend to send that
out. I'm just like, why are you texting me? First of all, but yes, and I was just like, and then he gonna talk about something. Oh, they coming, they sliding by with drinks. I'm about to drink some alcohol, and then he's like, man, they gave it to me and it was a ginger ale.
I'm telling you, y'all leave that alcohol alone. That alcohol. Not only that, but the alcohol mess. You can't lose no weight. Trust me, you can't. I try to substitute and just try to do a little drinking over the last couple. Not even a lot, just a little. Man, you can't do any diet while you're in some alcohol. So alcohol being legal in this country, I'm going to say it every single chance we bring it up. Alcohol is far worse, so much more dangerous and so much more detrimental to society than marijuana. So legalize it all.
Agreed.
That's all I got to say.
Yes.
And then on
also
top
shout
of
out to
that,
Lateef too. Lateef means he sent a super chat too. So go ahead, Rebecca.
shout out to Lateef. But on top of that, for all of the people, this 420 should be a day that they free people who are incarcerated for weed, like a petty crime like selling weed. Why? Because it's legal. Now, a lot of people have dispensaries and things like that and are making money off of the same thing that people were doing on the streets. The same thing that you guys have taken people's lives, and they should get some form of reparation as well. So I really do think at least start with that. So that they can get jobs, okay? And then giving them free education for the time that they spent in the damn jail without having a job, education, away from their families, literally rehabilitating them and giving them housing. All of that. I really do think that. But if we can't do all that right now, at least start with freeing them. Free all of those people who are serving time to this day for something that a lot of Caucasians. I was going to say something else. I had to really bring it back.
You talking about the caucus. You got to remember it's the Caucasian caucus from the Caucasus Mountains.
People from the Caucasian caucuses. For those folks, the clear people.
the clear people.
That is hilarious.
The gentrifiers.
The gentrifiers, the colonizers. Those
colonizers.
Why are we doing a white audience like this?
I know it's so bad. But the Karens are literally at those places and welcoming folks inside and saying, "Hey, welcome to Karen's dispensary. We have this over here and this over here." And I spoke with my person that gives it to me. Her name is Latoya, and she's out of there in Oakland. You might know her.
Oh, you got to try that.
She definitely showed me all of the different types, and here we are today.
Wait a minute. We got something. David, go to Twitter, and I want you to search Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel. I need that commercial, the one with him and Snoop.
Yes,
love it.
Urkel. Okay, so we're gonna stay live in the public show long enough to get the Purple Urkel video. In the meantime, let's talk about what's happening in Florida, and then we're gonna circle back with Stefan Urkel.
So
come on, Stefan.
This, and we love us some Stefan. Woo! Anyways, in Florida, it's always something crazy. On Monday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed what he called an anti-riot, pro-police, anti-mob, y'all. Anti-riot, pro-police, anti-mob bill into law. Let's take a look at a few of the comments he made at the signing ceremony.
This bill actually prevents against local governments defunding law enforcement. We'll be able to stop it at the state level. And if you look at some of these places that have done this, they've already seen crime go up, even just diverting some of the funding to this.
So this bill will grant civil legal immunity to people who drive through protesters blocking a road and prevent people arrested for rioting or offenses committed during a riot from bailing out of jail until their first court appearance, amongst other things. DeSantis first began pushing for measures such as these during last summer's mass Black Lives Matter protests. Cliff Albright, co-founder and executive director of Black Voters Matter and friend to the show, told a conference call of reporters that, quote, "For the state to say we're going to criminalize your activity, we're going to criminalize your passion, we're going to criminalize your protest, that's not what democracy looks like at all, y'all." I mean, it's crazy because for him, DeSantis to create something like this and say that it's protecting police officers, it's anti-mob, it's anti-riot. This is that whole rhetoric that they're trying to create, saying that Black Lives Matter protesters are thugs. And all they do is gather together to cause disruption. But the reason why we're causing disruption is because you guys are killing. We need to make sure we're going to disrupt everything that you do until it's dismantled and y'all start over or start again or get it right and not include killing us in the process. So why does it have to be that the black protesters, once again, like they're doing here in Atlanta, they're creating laws which is voter suppression. Here, they're doing this to protect police officers, and the people that get the short end of the stick again and again and again are going to be the black protesters, because this was something that he wanted to create since last summer with the Black Lives Matter protests, and now he's able to sign it into law. And having people sit in jail until their first court appearance, sometimes we don't know how long that would be.
I mean, think about St. Louis. Think about the city jail protest. I mean, one person was in there for 5 years before getting a trial, or still hasn't gotten a trial, right? So this is the move that's being made around us, and I just can't. I'm thinking about all my friends to the left of me, the people who are ostensibly more radical. Okay, this is the real threat that's in front of us right now today. You have Republicans who are literally trying to steal away your right to protest as well as your right to vote. And I know some people are like, oh, well, we don't care about the right to vote because Democrat, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. You want the right to protest. Republicans are attacking not only your right to protest, but also your right to vote. Not only your right to vote, but also your right to protest. They are playing for keeps. They are honestly trying to turn this country into an authoritarian dictatorship, and they're trying to do it through the system. And so far, they're doing pretty damn good. So it's like, I just wonder, like, why people don't see the kind of threat that this actually is. It just blows me away.
Yeah. And how could you not see this as a threat? I mean, look how he breaks it down. But the only people that are going to love this kind of stuff are the people that, be on the sideline saying, why didn't you comply with the police officer? You guys shouldn't have been out here anyway. I mean, this is private property. You guys are out here looting. They're looters, not rioters. You're breaking into the Gucci store. You're breaking into the Delartre. You're breaking into the Target. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Look at you guys. And then until their daughter or their son, their white children go out and help protest, right? Then they start being quiet. But they kids get bailed out quick. Let it be black folk. They really go out here and think that the people who are protesting don't have families, because that's how they look at us. They don't have families. We don't have no home training. We ain't fighting for nothing for real. So when we go to when they do put us in jail for protesting or for whatever reason, they think that there's not going to be a sea of black folks, a community that comes behind and tries their best to assist. So that's why DeSantis is doing what he's doing to make it harder for the community, the villages, the people who are in place right now for when things like that happen, to protect the ones that go to jail. He's doing that to make it much harder.
I agree. I was just thinking maybe we should take the purple Urkel to the after party, but I've already teased it, so that wouldn't be nice, would it?
Right. That would be rude.
That'd be rude.
All right. But I mean, what the hell not?
So, it's
just playing.
No. We go. But let me just tell you, the after party is going to be even more lit. All right. So here's the clip. We're going to shift. This is a hard shift, but this is my dudes. Jaleel White, also known as Steve Urkel, also known as Stefan Urkel, promoting his new strain of THC products called Purple Urkel.
Moved it, didn't I? Hold on. Steve Urkel. Nigga, you run Triller?
It's a side hustle. My cheese factory in Belgium actually is more profitable. Snoop, the reason you're here is Triller Fight Club. I am beta testing a ever picked on me at their own
He
game.
really has all those businesses?
Sick shit.
I don't know.
There's certain members of the Google advisory board that
if
call
he
me
owned
Dark
Triller for
Zuckerberg.
real, like Jesus,
call you
because they're running versus
Would you believe
now.
they call Zuckerberg?
And they did the
Urkel?
Fight Club
I can
recently.
believe that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's happening with your phone?
Oh, that's the sweet sound of profit, Snoopaloot. With your color commentary, Triller stock is going to... The sticky?
Here it is.
Yeah.
The Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say less. I grow my own.
Purple Urkel.
Steve Urkel got his own weed.
Indeed. Purple Urkel. I manipulated the flavonoids to enhance the purple aesthetic.
Save all that shit. Let's spark up one. Oh, you ain't fucking around.
I should warn you, all of my strains.
That thing is sick.
Man, the stranger the stronger my game.
Well, I didn't mean to insult you. I just didn't want your contract invalidated because you were impaired.
Say, man, I'm the big boss dog. When I smoke, the weed get high, nephew.
Okay, that's a good spot.
When I smoke, the weed get high,
let's call it
the weed get high.
When I smoke, the weed get high, nephew. That's hilarious.
Damn.
What I love about Urkel, Steve Urkel's Jaleel White, is I love when he turns into Stefan. But what I love about him is taking the character that he's most popular for and that family character and utilizing it, because it was him that made it popular. And I'm glad that he can use the character without getting any trouble. I don't know what he did to purchase it, but I would do it too. I would spend all my last money and purchase the rights to that character, because I knew that would definitely benefit my business and I would make it all back. So I love that he did that, and he's now using it and selling. And see, I like to see the black folks selling the drugs. It's something because selling the drugs, selling the plant, selling the flower. I like to see them because it's like us taking our power back, and I like to see it in this particular manner. And shout out to Marcus, because I know he has a dispensary as well. Yeah. So shout out to him, because we, any black folk y'all know who's selling and may not have a dispensary but might be on the corner, same thing. Go somebody legal. Got a little more paper to get a building, and somebody just didn't have it and it's just on the corner. I don't want y'all selling in secret on the corner no more. Only in places it's legal though. Don't go on the corner where you can get pulled over and end the people jail. But
here's the only thing. Here's the only thing I'm gonna say to my brothers and sisters who are selling. We're going to have to give y'all a workshop on customer service, because the colonizers have some really good customer service. They do delivery. They give you the different brand, the breakdown. Here's a chart of the differences between this strain and that strain. Don't ask me how I know. Just you didn't like that particular one. We'll exchange it here. We're going to send you a new one. Boom, boom. So we got to up our folks' customer service game to make sure. But that said, man, I'm so hyped. That Stefan Urkel, Steve Urkel, Purple Urkel is about to probably Purple Urkel is getting ready to be probably the biggest weed selling company in the whole country, simply because he's Steve Urkel. So shout out to him. Do your thing, brother.
That was a smart move, my brother. Yeah. If I knew how to sell, look, I would be a seller too. Now.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can get some of that imported to Georgia.
Hello. And he's probably going to get a dispensary here. You never know. But what's funny is, before we get out of here, is that I know two people who up their game. Even though they're street sellers, they've upped their game. So when you pull up, there's a storage. And
don't tip too many details now.
No, because it's not here though.
Okay.
Storage, and because he can't get a place, so he did a storage. You meet him at the storage, opens it up. And there's lights. He got fluorescent lights behind it. And this wasn't me purchasing. I went with my comrades. And it was lights behind it. And the lights are just glowing. And then he tells you could get this. And then if you sign up now, before 420, you're enrolled into a program that gives you monthly percentage off.
You get a whole subscription.
And then you get a subscription, and you're subscribed now to the email. And you'll get email and text. And one time my ex, we went somewhere down the street, and he was like, y'all got people that sell it here? And then I'm like, I know someone, but
I know some folks. Yeah.
And the person gave it to him in a bag and was like, yo, did he eat good? And I'm like, why you say did he eat good? And then he opens the bag, and it's a sealed Doritos bag. The Doritos chips was still in there.
What? And the package was in there?
And then that's why he said, did he eat good? Did he eat the snacks good? And I'm like, the snacks? What are you talking about?
It was wrapped in.
He was like, oh, he opened it up and he was like, listen, I was hungry, so I was eating the Doritos too. And it was like, oh my goodness.
I just thought maybe he gave him some edible Doritos.
Doritos,
it was rolled up. It was rolled up in a nice packaging inside of there, but the Doritos was covering it inside the bag.
This is so horrible. We got no respect for the law. We just sit up here giving you all the secrets without ratting on our plugs.
For the black folks, I mean, those are ways that you can up your game and make it if you don't have the money or whatever to set it up so nice, there are ways that you
give
can
me a call. No.
It's like
Right.
Pinterest. It's like go on Pinterest and see how you can make it cute on a budget. But customer service is always.
I'm laughing
I
at
know mine got some good customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LM in the chat room said, our customer service is horrible. We need training from them Chick-fil-A folks. I'm telling you, look here.
No comment.
But black, white, and you know how they're bigoted, right? But black, white, because when I go there, my person at the Chick-fil-A is gay. A gay white man, and he is the sweetest little thing. And he know he don't be wanting to say some things, but he be like, "God bless you, baby." I know it, baby. I know. And then it's like the black folks that be there, they're just as nice. They all, and you always see them congregating together. I'm like, how they get them to do that at the Chick-fil-A?
We train like our D boys. Unfortunately, not all of them, right? We can't say categorically because there's a lot of dudes. Well, anyway, I shouldn't even say how many I know. Anyway, the point is that generally speaking, our customer service is more like Popeyes. Y'all remember Popeyes with the sandwiches were all broke out and Popeyes was reach across the aisle, beating people's asses because they were being rude. Versus Chick-fil-A.
But you got to imagine though. See, this is the thing, and we're gonna take it to the after show. The customer service, and I want you to read those two. Well, one is long. Those two super chats, but the customer service. Yes, in the hoods be kind of hood, whatever, or at Popeyes or however, but the people too. Sometimes it's like you cannot go and be a trashy person and just be nasty because you're going somewhere. And I know that back in the day, we used to be like, if you didn't want to work in customer service, you should never work in customer service. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to be a nice person too. You can't go and project your trauma on the person in the drive-thru, think that the person in the drive-thru is not gonna, after being nice to you once, twice, and let you call them out their name, is gonna continue with that. No, go heal yourself before you go through the drive-thru. Don't be a terrible person and make that an excuse for how you're treating the person that's serving you. Do not do that. And that's what I say on that. That's because they be trashy people expecting.
They expect these people to be like, don't go through a drive-through and expect them to be like the Buddha and with patience with your bull. You're like for real, like they human beings too. Right. So you're going through and expecting to like, why you ain't,
I'm not your therapist. I'm serving you this sandwich therapist. And I'm trying to be nice to you. And you over here telling me I'm moving too slow. Look at the line behind you, lady. Or it's only me in the kitchen. I'm sorry, I work at a place that's low staffed. Like, please don't try it with me today.
Rebecca, it sounds like you've been in that position.
No,
I think
the older I've gotten, I've never worked in a fast food place, but I think the older I've gotten, and I realized, even working in corporate and getting yelled at sometimes on the phones and things like that, and just trying my best, and then having my bosses tell me, well, you signed up to work here. So when they yell at you or whatever, and they're calling you out of your name, they're calling you nigger, they're calling you those things, you just gotta roll
the hard R.
Yes, because that's what they call it. And then let it roll off your shoulder. And it's like,
nah.
No, I'm gonna disconnect the call. They were like, you cannot disconnect the call. You will always find me, ma'am, if you call me out of my name. You know what? That was the first time that you called me out my name, and that's gonna be the last time. I am now disconnecting the call. Thank you for calling.
Right. Yeah.
And that's that.
Because I know I've been called out a lot of stuff.
Yes. So we know. And a lot of people in the chat, I know you guys know too, if you've worked in any environment where you had to work with people who expect you to be so nice to them because you're a server. No, I'm naturally a server. I'm going to be nice to you. I'm doing my job. But if you're rude and you're nasty to me for any reason and expect me to just keep taking it, no, it doesn't work like that.
Period.
Anywho, read those super chats and we out of here.
Yeah, get these super chats. Let's get to the after party.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get these super chats read while we smoking on. Hey.
He's trying to give
That's all y'all get today. Anywho, super chats, man, we missed a good bit. All right, Goku just saying, since it's $4.99, believe it or not, hot tamales candy enhance my high. My Blakely says, I don't smoke, but happy 420 and happy birthday to my mommy. Happy birthday, mommy. Teresa T. Met Ben via TYT shows, had to support his show. Teresa T, thank you so much, appreciate you. Paradise Laye. Y'all, please forgive me for these names, Lord. Charge it to my head and not my heart. All right. Paradise Laye. I've been training for years to hang with Snoop in my dreams. Happy 420. I think we all. Daniel Van Winden says, burn one, y'all. Thank you, sir. Will do. Mark S. Blaze one for the nation. Yes, will do. Scott Fleming. Thank y'all for what you do. We need to start the conversation around equitable weed farming. Yes, we can't let the licensing around farming get held up behind unfair paywalls small farmers can't afford. Absolutely, Scott.
That's a truth.
And One Lost Spirit, here's my nickel bag. Thank you, sir.
Love you guys so much.
Oh, man, this is amazing. All right, everybody, let's take it over to the after party, and we will have more of these shenanigans over there, more news, more politics. Rebecca, got anything real quick?
And to take it over to the after party, if you are missing out and want to be a part of the after party, make sure you become a patron, because I like the way you guys say it. I feel like I say it wrong. I sound out all the vowels. But a patron today on what is our patron?
Patreon.com/like-a-night. So it is actually Patreon is the website.
Patreon,
They called them and they call them
I've been
patrons.
Y'all accents because I never really heard this word. It's not a word that's been in my vocabulary.
Well, Patreon is not a real. That's something they. I guess it's just something they made up. But patrons.
Right.
Patreon.com/like-a-night. Did we should? I think we had a couple of. Did you read them already?
Yeah, we do. We do have a few lists. Yeah, I read those at the end and meet y'all at the after party.
All right, meet us over there. I love you guys. I mean it. Thank you so much for all the 420 super chats. Even though I don't smoke, I'm gonna just blow it in the air in my hookah. I love y'all.
Hey, come on, hookah. Some hookah. He ain't got hookah.
That tobacco poison.
You might as well smoke
poison.
weed.
Mind your business.
Okay, right.
Tobacco poison.
Okay.
Killing
You
yourself.
might as well smoke
That's
weed,
my
girl.
business. That's my business.
You just out here smoking hookah ain't gonna do nothing for you. You might as well roll up a joint.
I know.
Just
right?
roll up,
No,
sis.
I've
Why
tried.
you gonna burn your throat and burn your lungs and
With my
not even
ex,
get high?
I like literally inhaled, and I was the weirdest person for about a minute. And like I went to sleep and woke up weird with him, and he was looking at me like,
Weird?
You gotta.
baby, lay down.
Okay, we'll talk about this because you gotta know you're high. You gotta know you're high. We'll talk about this in the after party. All right, man. You got
They
it,
have
James.
tobacco-less hookah, y'all. Bye.
All right, y'all. New patrons. We have Nate L. Nate L, welcome, and thank you for your support. Gail H, welcome. We have Josh. We have Teresa E. Thank you so much. You just sent the super chat and you joined the Patreon. Thank you. We appreciate you and love you. We have Daniel K. We have Bailey P. Welcome. And our new Twitch subscribers, we have Leopatra, who subscribed with Prime. Leopatra, I kind of like that. So y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned. Y'all, the after party is coming up next, and we will see y'all in the morning. For everybody else, 8:30, same bad time, same bad channel. We'll see you then. Deuces.